Hello, my name is Justin Allen, and I have figured some things out. I may have cracked the code on life. I just need someone else to watch this to see if I'm on the right path. Some of the stuff I say may be true, some of the stuff I may say may be offensive, and some I might be wrong on the whole thing. But I at least need people to see this and see if I'm on the right track. Now, what I'd like to talk about first is life and how life keeps on going. So, fact, we all know that not two people in this world can have the same fingerprints. We all know that not two people in this world can have the same DNA strand. So how does Mother Nature determine not two people have the same stuff? When you think about it. They say that we only use 10% of our brains. That means the other 90% of our brains is being used without us knowing. It's kind of like being on a computer and you're doing stuff on the computer, but in the background it's just gathering data, talking to other computers, letting everything know what's going on. And you have no control over it. And that's what basically is instinct, right? That's how animals know how to do stuff without going to school. Instinct. Their brain is talking to another brain, telling them how to do stuff. Tell them how to hunt, tell them how to fish, tell them how to live life. Like the penguins go from South Africa up north for 4 years and then come back and make babies and switch tag team laying on the egg. How would they know to do that? Instinct. The minds are talking to each other without them knowing. Same thing with fate. Fate will lead you somewhere because your mind is talking to another person, making you guys come together. Your mind's been talking the whole time, and you don't even know it. You know, you might be driving down the road thinking to go one way, and for some reason you physically go the other way, knowing that that's where you need to go in the first place. It's your mind telling you to go that way subconsciously. Subconsciously, you do a lot of stuff. That's the 90% of the brain that you do not have control of. Now, some people are a little bit smarter. They probably have, they probably control 11% of the brain. I don't know. But we'll get into that in later subject, way down the road. I'm talking about the DNA fingerprints. How do they keep them separated? How do they keep them not together? So if you think about the lotto, okay? The lotto is a crazy number, okay? You got six numbers, 5 numbers, and then a bonus number. So you have what, 60 numbers? So you get 60 times 59 times 58 times 57 times 56, and then times the mega number, times 30, or whatever the mega number be. You come up with a ridiculous number, okay? 273 billion different combinations for the lotto. Okay? Well, man, I know there's not 273 billion different ways to make a man. Well, there probably is now, but I'm talking about a single race, okay? And a single race, let's say the Mayans, for example. Okay, the Mayans, they say, the Mayans got probably their ass kicked by Christopher Columbus and all them. But they're saying that the Mayans basically put themselves into extinction. They're saying that basically, there's no evidence that they were all brutally murdered. Because they said the Mayans was very, very overpopulated. They're saying the Mayans were probably in the billions or, millions or billions. I don't know. But you think about it, how many different ways can you make a man in a single race? Okay? So, in a race, you got to take their main roots, their main genes. So for Mayans, I don't know what they look like. They might look like Mexicans. I don't know. So you're going to take, the skin color. Probably about 5 different choices, dark brown, light brown, brown, You're going to take the hair color. It's black, brown. I doubt there's any blonde. So 2, You're going to take the eye color. Brown, black. I doubt there's green. Maybe green. I don't know. 3. You know, you're going to have all these numbers, the ears, the eyes, the nose, all these numbers, but they're all going to be small numbers. Small numbers. So when you times all those together, it is not going to come to a lot of numbers because these are small. Okay, you might come up with a 2 million number or a 2 billion number. That's just to be generous. Okay, I'm just rounding numbers up. All these numbers are not true because I don't have the resources to do this. I don't have the money, I don't have the power, I don't have nothing to do this. This is just all on the top of my head. So you're saying everything that I say about a man, you just duplicate it for a woman. Okay, I just make it easier. I'm just talking about one side. So there's about 2 million different ways to make a man. For example, I could be wrong, but just for shits and giggles, 2 million. Let's just say 2 million. 2 million to make a man. Okay? So, once when they've done making 2 million different men, what happens? Evolution. That's why the giraffes evolved, you know, because they're on the brink of extinction. The minds talk to other giraffes, say, hey, you know, they say that the giraffes had a small neck like the horses, okay? So let's just go back in time. Let's just say that the horses, a giraffe, and a zebra were all running from apple tree to apple tree, and for some reason the giraffes were really, really slow. So they get their last. And they're like, no more apples. We're going to die. We're going to go in extinction. So the brain's talking to each other like, how about we make us faster? And then they're like, well, then the horses will make themselves faster, and we'll be back and forth. Pointless. How about we give ourselves longer necks so that we could get all the shit on the top? And that's exactly what they did. They evolved to longer necks. Okay, so now after making 2 million men, they're like, okay, we done made 2 million men. What do we do now? Well, let's make another 2 million men, but with the girl feature. You know? So they make 2 million men, you know, with less feminine or less manly structures, you know? For example, on the girl side, they'll make 2 million women with Adam's apples. Okay? After they make that 2 million men, they'll make another 2 million men with the broad shoulders and Adam's apples. After that, they'll make another 2 million men with broad shoulders, Adam's apples, and, you know, whatever a guy feature has. You know, the hairy legs, the hairy testosterone. Okay? Testosterone is where I'm looking at right now. Okay? So after they go ahead and make, you know, they make the 2 million men, they look like girls. That's why now today you see a lot of girly men and, you know, manly women out there. Gays. Okay? No offense, freedom of speech, but you see a lot of gays out there. And so that's where I'm getting at right now. So once when you get to 2 million men of the whole spectrum, you're gonna have half the Mayan population straight and half the Mayan population gay, because it's in their genes. They're born to be gay. You don't choose to be gay. You're born to be gay. You're born with female parts. You're born with female estrogen. You're born with female thinking. And so once when the straight obviously gave offspring to the gays, so once when the straight became old and gray and died, all that was left was the gays. The gays were not going to reproduce because they're gay, thus making them go into extinction. See how I'm getting at? Now that number is just to explain to kindergartens. You know, I know every time someone dies, every time a straight person dies, another one could take that spot, could take that DNA, could take that fingerprint, whatever. Maybe there's a 1,000-year gap until they get that spot. I don't know. But there's always a spot available. So some of the straights made some straights. So that's why when Christopher Columbus probably discovered down there, you know, the population decreased because of gays. And I'm wondering if that's Mother Nature trying to balance everything. You know, they figured, if they keep on mating, they're gonna overeat their food supply. That's why what we're at, like 9 billion people in the world, and we're starting to see a lot of gays lately. A lot of gays. Because, think about it, once we get enough gays, all the straights, well, now it's different because people have sex for the fun of it. Back then, people only had sex to have a baby. So, we're still going to be hurting, you know. But eventually, there's going to be a lot of gays, which is going to probably decrease our population. Not much, because people are still banging like crazy. But it is going to help us down the long run. And that's what Mother Nature did. Mother Nature said, hey, you guys got to stop producing. So basically evolved people into gays. Now I'm going to make a chart here of estrogen and testosterone. Okay. And you got testosterone 90%, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Then you got 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So this is my homemade chart of every man born. Okay. You're born, you know, typically the first set of people, you know, like I said, the Mayans, they probably maxed out at 2 million people. But in today's world, we are so mixed mutts that that number is capped out. Not even capped out yet, because we keep on mixing. We keep on mixing Chinese with Americans, with blacks, with Mexicans, with everybody. So you're never gonna, I don't know if that is ever gonna be capped. So that's why, you know, it's taking a longer time. That's why we're up to 9 billion people. But anyways, an average man is born 90% testosterone, 10% estrogen. Okay? And then flip it for the girls. The average girl is born with 90% estrogen and 10% testosterone. I just flipped it. Okay? And that basically is a chart that tells if a man's gay or not. Okay? So basically, testosterone grows your facial hair. Testosterone gets you all amped up. Because testosterone is the jocks, the fighters, the people that want to compete. You know, a lot of testosterone. And so, when you have a manly man, 90% testosterone, they're going to mate with a female, 90% estrogen, and the testosterone always overpowers the estrogen, and they will always have a boy. Okay? But if a testosterone man dates an testosterone female, you know, like Ellen DeGeneres or something like that, Melissa McCarthy, you know, I'm not trying to say any names here, but I did, I guess. But if they try to mate with them, they're likely going to have girls, because 2 negatives equal a positive. 2 testosterones will make a girl. But there's a pattern. Everything in life has a pattern. And that's why I learned to figure it out. Okay? If a man manly man will have a boy, that boy will have a boy, that boy will have a boy forever in life. Okay? Unless he breaks the pattern and has 2 kids. So if a man has a boy-girl, then that boy will usually have a boy-girl, boy-girl. But he could also flip it and have a girl-boy, girl-boy. But he's still going to keep the pattern of boy-girl. flipping is different. Now, if you have two boys and a girl, one boy will stay with me here, one boy will keep the father's pattern as boy, boy, girl, and one boy will flip the father's pattern and make it girl, girl, boy. Why? Because he dated a different mom. Okay? The mother has a lot to do with it. Okay? There's two types of people, a mama's boy and a daddy's boy. Okay? So, a mama's boy loves her mother and is always clingy to their mother. And when they get old and married, they're going to want to find someone just like their mother. That subconsciously, just like their mother. And that is the man that keeps the father's pattern. Because whatever the father had, the man is going to copy it to the T. The same age, same date, everything. Not your date, but you know, around the same time, same age. But if a boy is a daddy's boy, they're always going to be on the daddy side. They're always going to hear the bitching that comes from the mama and like, oh man, she's such a bitch, you know, this and that. And you're always going to take the daddy side. So when they get older, they're going to find a significant other that is opposite of the mom on the scale. So if their mom is an 80% estrogen, they're probably going to find a mom that's 30% estrogen. That's why you see a lot of guys, you know, skinny guys with the big old fat girls. No offense, freedom of speech, but that's because they were the daddy's boy and they wanted to go opposite of the mom and find someone that's just like them, less bitchy. Because usually, when you find a manly girl, they like to do the stuff the man does. They like to work. They like to play sports. They like to, you know, you just want to have fun with your spouse, right? And that's why they do that. But when they do that, you're actually flipping your dad's pattern, and her testosterone is going to be stronger than yours, and you're going to actually have girls. But because you're a boy, you still have to copy your dad's pattern, but in reverse. So all the girls will become boys, and all the boys will become girls in the pattern. I hope I didn't lose you, but see if I can do this right. Okay. A man has a boy. That boy will have a boy all the way down. Okay? A man has a boy, girl. Okay? One will have a boy, girl. Boy, girl. And one will have girl, boy. Okay? Now, if you have three boys, one boy, now it doesn't necessarily mean the first boy born. Okay, it could be any three of them. And you basically judge it on the mama's boy, the dad's boy, and the independent. So this one will keep the dad's pattern. This one will flip it. And the third one can either A, fuck it all up, or B, flip the rotation. So it could either go flip the rotation, it could go girl, boy, or fuck it up, like having one kid, no kid, or whatever. So, or fuck. Okay? That's his choice. And those are, you know, usually the druggies, the outcasters, you know, the black sheep of the family. So you have the mama's boy, daddy's boy, usually the black sheep of the family fucks it up. And black sheep are usually the third ones because the other two siblings already claimed their mom and claimed their dad. And it could always be reversed. I mean, like firstborn. Usually the oldest male, usually the oldest male would be the black sheep because everybody tends to babies better. So as a new baby comes in, the other one gets pushed away. That's what usually makes them black sheep. Not always, not always. This fact right here that I'm saying, so far I've studied on like 500 relationships or 500, scenarios, and they all came out damn near perfect. Now, you're probably going and looking at your history and like, oh, my dad did this and this. Okay, don't do it on the girl's side. The man's hold all the genes for the patterns. So it doesn't matter what your sisters have, they have boys, girls, because it goes off of their partner's family tree. Now, some of you are probably sitting at home saying, hey, that doesn't work for my family. Well, if it doesn't work for your family, either A, someone's lying to you, and it's so easy for your dad to have banged someone in college or high school unprotected and not know about it. So easy. So easy. So you could have a sibling out there that you don't even know about, and because you don't know about it, you're not putting it in your equation of why you didn't work. B, the mother could have cheated, could have been the dad's brother, or it could have been somebody else. And that's probably another reason why it's not working. But other than that, someone's lying or spot on. Now, because I figured this out and cracked the code, if you know the code, you can always fuck it up on your own. But this goes for all subconscious people that doesn't know. If you do know, I'm sorry. There's one more equation if this doesn't work, and that's drugs. Okay, drugs fucks up everything. If your parents are on drugs at the time of conception, you cannot go by this chart. I'm sorry. It may work and it may not work, but drugs will confuse the fuck out of the little fuckers, make them go the wrong way, make them go up and down, whatever. But it will slow the process down, fuck shit up, whatever. So that's a baby making scenario. Okay? Now, I want to get back to a million babies, the gays and all that. Now, lookalikes. I want to talk about lookalikes. Remember, you can't have the same DNA, you can't have the same fingerprint, but there's lookalikes everywhere. Everybody has a lookalike. Me, you, everybody has a lookalike. We just don't know about it because we're not celebrities. For some reason, they post celebrity lookalikes on TV because the other one's a celebrity. But I've worked in a lot of different areas, and I've actually came across someone that looks just like me, like identical to me. And that's why 1,000,000 different ways to make a man. 2,000,000 different ways to make a man. Because someone else made a man that almost looked like me, but one of the DNA strands is different. I couldn't tell. Maybe the earlobe was bigger, I don't know. But it was identical to me. We could have passed as identical twins. But we have nothing in common, no names, no relatives, no nothing. And that's crazy. And that's why they say in the Bible days, Adam and Eve were able to bang their brothers and sisters, mom and pops, whatever, because it was a wide open scenario. It was virtually impossible to make a retarded child because freedom of speech, sorry, no offense. But because they were the first peoples, they were able to make all the babies. And not be able to come close to making one that's exactly the same. And that's where retardation comes from. nowadays, because you already have the lookalikes out there. Now, if a sibling or the same mom, father, whatever, brother, sister, daughter were to bang today, you're guaranteed getting a retarded child, because all the other scenarios are already taken. Like I said, I got like 10 lookalikes, you got 10 lookalikes, they're already taken. So if we were to bang, you know, not me and you, but, you know, siblings were to bang or whatever, you know, incest, basically. If that were to happen, then you're definitely going to have the retarded child, because you got to keep your genes all the way down, so that's a gimme, and then you can only go off the Richter scale so much, and most of them are already taken, and that's how the brains talk to each other when they're making the baby. That's why there's 3 semesters in the baby. The first baby, first trimester, whatever, you know, obviously it's got to take the father's and mother's genes. Okay, that's the first stage. Once that's completed, the second stage is kind of like a computer. It does a random search throughout the whole world, saying, okay, so far we got these genes. If we go this route, we can have a boy that's blonde hair, you know, 6'4", you know, whatever. If we go this route, we'll have a guy that's blonde hair, 6'3", whatever. If we go this route, so there's different routes to go. And they just pick one. Once they start going down that route, you know, if they find a match somewhere in the world, they stop what they're doing and go off to the side. Go off to the original route or the different route. They can never go back up. They always go straight down. And that's how they figure out which route they could go. Now, when a person's on drugs, that slows down that process. It's like the computer has a virus, and it goes slow. So it cannot check the whole world to see which route it could take. And so basically, it's flying blind in a snowstorm, and it just picks a route. Once when the baby's close to being born, you know, it's not doing all that work, working on the baby. It's able to search the world a lot faster. You know, it's getting rid of a lot of its activity, if you will. And then what happens? It finds one. It's like, whoops, we found a selection. Abort, abort, abort. And that's why you have miscarriages. That's why you have stillborns, because they went the wrong route and they actually found another baby out there. Sometimes it's too late to abort. You know, if the mother is really, really strong and immune system, it's not going to make the baby abort. It's actually just going to break one of the DNA strands, giving it a retarded child. No offense, sorry. And that's what retardation is. It just breaks one of the DNAs, because they actually, you can't have the same DNA as someone else. And during drugs or incest, that's what happens. They came across another person that had the same DNA, and something had to break. They try to abort it, try to stillborn it, but if the immune system is too strong, they break a DNA. And that's what happens to them. Another thing I want to talk about. Oh, going back to making the 2 million men. Midgets. I think midgets came after gays, because we really haven't seen that many midgets lately. But way back in the day, the movie Willow, there was midgets everywhere. Okay? Everywhere, midgets. You think they could find any midget to make that movie. That's because when we discovered America, we weren't at that point of making mutts. We weren't at that point of breeding with blacks and Asians and Mexicans and whatever. So that's why we've already gotten a lot of gays. But they stayed in the closet. The gays stayed in the closet, but the women, the manly women, Those are the ones that actually fucking came out and had fight for women's rights. They wanted to work. They thought that they should be equal and everything else. They should, you know, when they came out of the closet, that's when women got all the rights. But the gays, they stayed in the closet. But midgets were evolved after we've extended the midgets, or after we extended to gays. Okay? So, our minds talk to each other, and I'm going to give that a new word. I'm going to give it the Jedi Mind. The Jedi Mind is what works. Instinct. It's where you can tell someone something without knowing it. Now, I believe that we can actually crack that and use our Jedi Minds. You know, there's stories of people who are psychic. There's stories of people who are able to move stuff, you know, whatever. They got the Jedi Mind. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that something happened. They probably can't control it, just something happened. Okay? They were able to have a psychic experience, or they were able to move something on accident. Something happened, but they cannot repeat it. I guarantee you, they can't do it again. But they'd have all these friends that were talking them into, oh, open up your own psychic show and make a lot of money, this and that. You know, so they do that. But the Jedi Mind, those people probably have 11% of their mind open. But see, I think the monks are onto something. You know, because how can you give up your whole life to just chill, not speak to anybody? I mean, what fun is that? I mean, to them it's fun. Because I think they crack something. I think they're talking to each other and knowing that they're talking to each other. And I think they're going to keep on staying there until they can move shit. And I think the monks are going to be the first person to open up the Jedi Mind. But this world is not ready for the Jedi Mind. Okay? The Jedi Mind is going to evolve when this world gets too crazy for cops to handle. You know, you see all these movies. You know, Judge Dredd and all these other movies where the population is, you know, one cop per billion people, and the cops are just afraid to go out there and fuck with people. So it's just pure chaos in the streets. And that is when the Jedi Mind is going to evolve. The Jedi Mind, the monks are going to come out and just put a new world order and open up a can of whoop ass on everybody and put everybody in check. But I think that's like 1,000 years away. Now, another thing I want to talk about that I might have cracked is dreams. Okay, dreams have been tripping me out for a while now. And have you ever been in a dream and tried to look in the mirror? You know, try to look at something on your body that you know is you. You know, I got these tattoos on my arm, very plain and simple, and I try to look at my arms in the dream to see my tattoos, and I can't. And that got me thinking, you know, what if we are not us in the dreams? You know, they've said, wise men saying that if you can't sleep, that's because someone else is awake in your dream. What if that's true? What if, you know, every time I dream, it's always daylight, and I'm always kicking it with people that I wouldn't dream of kicking with. I know them, but I just wouldn't kick with them. It's like they were born on a different side of tracks than I was. But for some reason, in my dreams, we are like best friends, and we're skateboarding, which I don't skateboard, and, you know, we're kicking it under these bridges, you know, and I'm like, wow, I don't even know that guy. That guy's ruthless. Why am I kicking with that guy? That's because in my dream, I jumped on the other side of the world in somebody else's body at that time. And that's basically the instinct, Jedi Mind, teaching us stuff. You know? So, I've jumped into the mind, and I'm kicking with people that I don't even know, and this happens like every day. I write it down. But then, you know, it always starts off the same. First 2 hours, I don't keep track of time. You know, time flies when you're in a dream. But let's just say for the first 2 hours of my dreams, everything's normal. But then for some reason, my dream changes because something is about to reveal itself that I can't know. Like, you know, we're skateboarding, you know, whatever, we're having fun. I'm like, alright, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home too. Okay, well, obviously, if I go home in that dream, I will realize that I'm not actually at my house. I'm somewhere else. And I'll be able to crack it. So that gives me the idea that I'm in my dream, and the people that I kick with are lookalikes of people that I know. Which is crazy. Because there are lookalikes. Everybody has lookalikes. And so, I'm on the other side of the world, and I'm kicking with these two guys that look like two guys that I know from high school or work that I would never even dream of kicking with. But they're there in my dream, and we're best friends. And that's what it is. Because you know that your dream is not crystal clear. It's all fuzzy, it's all hazily, it's all distorted. And there's actually this show that you can probably watch on Netflix or whatever called Brain Games. And Brain Games is actually a trip. It will fuck with your brain. You watch it, and it'll say, you know, oh, look at these two cars. You know, which car's going faster? And you're like, oh, this one. And everybody's wrong. They do these slideshows where they show you for 10 seconds, you know, a picture of a room with like 30 objects, you know, randomly a guitar on the couch, you know, a lamp on the table, whatever. They show you for 10 seconds, and then they'll shut it off, and then they'll ask you a question, what is sitting on the couch? And everybody would say what they thought was on the couch, and then they'd re-show the picture, and it's not even what they thought. It was like a lamp that looked like a guitar, and everybody said guitar's on the couch. Because their mind saw something in the shape of a guitar, and told itself that is a guitar. And that's what happens in our dreams. Our mind tells us that that is Bobby out there, and that is Billy out there, because their figure kind of looks like it. And once when your mind tells you that that's Bobby and that's Billy, they become crystal clear. You're like, oh, Bobby, Billy, yeah, what's up? You know? And so you're in that dream, kicking with them. But then once when they, like I said, something happens where you're about to reveal yourself, your dream changes. All of a sudden, you know, mystical stuff comes in. You know, dragons and shit or whatever you want to do, just, things change. You change. Just so you can get off that subject and not even think about it. But one time, I actually tried to look at my arm in my sleep. Really fucking hard. Like, I sat there and concentrated. Look at my arm. Look at my arm. And I started to look at my arm, and I kid you not, my whole body went into like convulsions. Like, my hip felt like it was ripping out of its fucking socket. Like, I felt the pain. And you know how in dreams, if you get shot or stabbed in the dream, you can feel it? You know, that's just the nerves kicking that spot of your body, and you can feel it. But I actually felt me dying. And I was like, holy fucking shit. What if that's how people die in their sleep? You know, they cracked life. They figured something out, and that's it. They figured out what it is, and like, oh, fuck. This ain't me in the dream. And they die. And that's why I'm never going to try and look at my arm again. You know, unless someone hooked me up to some kind of machine to where if I start going to that convulsion, they could wake me up before something happens. That's why I said I don't have the money or the power to do that. But it's something that needs to be looked into. So like when people can't sleep, someone else is in your dream or in your reality controlling you subconsciously. And that's just fucking crazy. And another thing is how did shit get discovered? You know, discoveries happen in dreams. You know, think about it. And you got people, you know, living in the United States way back when. Yeah, there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of fucking whatever. But you got people born in the fucking desert, you know, Egypt and all that. How in the fuck do they know to build a campfire? You know? How in the fuck would they know that fire even exists? You know, if you're living in one side of the country, world, where lightning strike will strike a tree and catch it on fire, you know that fire exists. But for someone that lives in Egypt, you don't know that fire exists. How the fuck will they know? That's because they went to sleep into an Indian that was living in where wood's at, that learned to rub sticks together, made fire, and they in Egypt like, fire exists. Fire is real. So the Jedi Mind, instinct, that's where instinct comes in. I changed the Jedi Mind. Taught people how to create fire. And same thing with people discovering new worlds. You know, they went to sleep and they saw someone in the other side of the world, and they're like, there's more out there. You know, Christopher Columbus probably saw someone playing in the snow in Canada. Said, there's somebody out there because there's snow. So it's crazy. That's what the Jedi Mind is. Now, there's one more subject I was going to talk about. Oh, the Jedi Mind. And what if you could connect to outside this world? Galaxy far, far away. Like George Lucas. You know, how in the fuck can you come up with some of these ideas like Star Wars? And Star Wars, he's been writing these books for a long time. But they're just so, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but they're so intense. They're so, like, perfect that it seems like it's a real thing. Like, what if his mind is stronger, 12% or 13%, and he actually, when he went to sleep, he woke up in someone else's brain in a galaxy far, far away, and saw all these people, and saw Jedis, and saw Wookiees, and saw everything. That is crazy. You know, it's crazy. And it's just one of those things that you can't talk about because then people will think you're nuts. And one more thing I would like to talk about. I'm trying to remember it. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. I'd love it for people to see if I'm on a point, see if I have a point, see if there's something to think about. One way to do a research on this is I would like every baby born to have their DNA on file, their fingerprints on file, and see if 1,000 years from now someone born has that same fucking DNA. That would be crazy. Or if someone born has the same fingerprints. Yeah, I know that would be pretty hard to do, but I know they can do it. I know they take everybody's fingerprints. I know they take everybody's blood sample, but they don't put it. They don't put it in a storage. They don't put it in a file that can be flagged when someone else finds it. They just put it in a file cabinet or something. I mean, they're basically not looking for it. They just need to look for it, and I guarantee you they'll find something. You know, another way to prove some of my theories is I seen, you know, just like I said, everybody has lookalikes. I seen this chick on a singing channel, American Idol or something, I don't know what it was, but she had, everything looked good except for she had T-Rex arms. And, you know, I bet if you went out there and you found every lookalike and you ran their DNA, I guarantee you one of them will have the same DNA except for one will be broken for the T-Rex arms. And that would be another thing to prove. Another thing, I know I'm forgetting something. I guess I'll think of it later and put it into part 2 if I remember. But like I said, everything I may say may be offensive, but freedom of speech, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say it to make it easier. Thank you and have a nice day.